Call the meeting to order. Susan?
Here.
Cheryl?
Here.
Berna? Jan?
Here.
Heather?
Present.
I should remember you. My daughter-in-law's name is Heather. And Tiffany has not yet arrived. Okay. Ask for a motion to approve the agenda for the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, this is an opportunity for the audience to speak. You should have a copy of the policy and procedure for public comment. There will be a 3-minute limit, and this comment is for items that are on the agenda, and this is a one agenda meeting. Let's see. While you're not required to do so, we would like you to state your name when you speak, and the board does not respond because we respond only as a board as a whole. If you have questions that you would like answered, we would like them submitted in writing. Okay. Do we have any audience? Okay.
I'm Cynthia Straley. I live in Brandon Township.
Okay.
And I just was making an observation that, wondering actually if the assessment is going to continue to go up, and what is there any justification for an increase in tax stuff that we'll be supporting. I mean, I already support this library, $200 and some a year. And I just wondered if it was going to go up. Are you going to publish this? I obviously have missed it if you have done publishing the agenda prior to this, so that I can get an idea of what will happen. Is the tax rate going to go up? Are we getting anywhere with, the whatever we've got to pay for this? Is it ever going to go down, or is it never going to stay the same? Or I just was looking for information. The only reason I question is because the paper put in that this meeting was going to go on, it was in all caps, that the agenda for the budget is going to be approved or challenged or whatever during this meeting. So I'm here to see what it is actually. I haven't been to one of these meetings in many years. I've lived in this town 40 years. And I just was wondering what goes on with the library to continue to, up our taxes, because they're getting exorbitant, can't live here anymore after 40 years. So that's all. I guess I will send an email then,
That would be fine.
asking these questions, and
Yes.
someone will respond.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Cynthia?
Quite welcome.
Okay. The resolution to approve the budget and certify the tax levy. Jan, our secretary, will read this.
Okay, Board of Trustees of the Brandon Township Public Library 2022. Resolution approving budget and certifying tax levy. The following preamble and resolution were offered by Trustee, what do I say there? Skip it for the moment.
Right. No, that would be your name, right?
My name? Yes. Okay. And supported by Trustee
I'll support.
Okay. Whereas, in accordance with the Truth in Budgeting Act, there has been presented to the Board of Trustees of the Brandon Township Public Library, the library, the proposed budget for fiscal year 2022. And whereas a public hearing on the budget has been held in accordance with the provisions of Act 43 of 1963 as amended, after notice of the hearing was duly given, and whereas the notice of hearing on the budget included the following statement printed in 11-point bold-face type. Excuse me. The property tax millage rate proposed to be levied to support the proposed budget was the subject of this hearing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that, number one, the library board hereby approves and adopts the proposed budget for fiscal year 2022 on file with the Secretary of the Board for the purpose of providing library service to the residents of the township. Number two, the library board hereby ratifies and confirms the actions of the library director in completing the notice of hearing and in arranging for publication thereof in Ortonville, Michigan. The notice of hearing in the form published in the Citizen is hereby ratified and confirmed. Number three, the library board hereby approves and adopts the proposed tax levy for fiscal year 2022 on file with the Secretary of the Board, and hereby determines that 1.9036 mills shall be levied in the Brandon Township Public Library District for fiscal year 2022 for the purpose of providing library funds for the operation of the library. Number four, the Secretary of the Library Board is authorized and directed to submit this resolution and a tax rate request form L-4029 to the Supervisor, Brandon Charter Township, the County of Oakland, the Clerk of Brandon Charter Township, the County of Oakland, and to the County Equalization Department of the County of Oakland. Number five, all resolutions and parts of resolutions, insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, are and the same hereby are rescinded.
Okay, we will now do a roll call vote. Tiffany?
Tiffany, yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Verna? Yes. It's unanimously approved.
Resolution declared adopted. Janet Rathberg, Secretary, Board of Trustees, Brandon Township Public Library, County of Oakland, State of Michigan. I hereby certify that the foregoing is a true and complete copy of a resolution adopted by the Board of Trustees of the Brandon Township Public Library, County of Oakland, Michigan, at a public hearing held on the 24th day of August, 2021, and that said meeting was conducted and public notice of said meeting was given pursuant to and in full compliance with Open Meetings Act, being Act 267, Public Acts of Michigan, 1976, and that the minutes of said meeting were kept and will be or have been made available as required by said act. Janet Rathberg, Secretary, Board of Trustees, Brandon Township Public Library, County of Oakland, State of Michigan.
Okay, thank you very much. Business of this meeting have been completed. I ask for a motion to adjourn at 4:54.
So moved. Heather?
Second?
Second, Susan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We've unanimously voted to adjourn at 4:50. Thank you. 5 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call. Susan? Here. Cheryl? Here. Jan? Here. Heather?
Present?
Tiffany? Here. And Verna. All here. Okay, approval of the agenda. If there are no comments or questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Obviously, we're approving the agenda from the meeting I missed, correct, on the 5th? Is that what this, or we're approving this agenda?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand 4 and 5. 4, I had, maybe we need to flip it, but I wasn't obviously at the August 5th meeting, and because of the email, I had sent out an email to Tiffany asking that maybe because it sounded like there was some confusion, I couldn't watch the video, there wasn't a video to see what was going on, that I would maybe like to add it back into the agenda to revisit the work on the library. And I never heard back, and it's not on the agenda. So I just need a clarification of that.
I saw that email and I apologize for not getting back to you. I think I was working on it with you to try to figure out what to do with that. So I never actually finished that.
Okay.
My dad.
We can put it on the agenda for discussion, but you understand that the vote has been taken and the contract signed.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that was a little confusing on what the vote was for certain things, and it didn't sound like certain things were being done, and I was, again, I didn't have anything, I didn't have the video to look at, I didn't have any reference, so I suggested that maybe if there was confusion of what it covered, that maybe we should revisit at this meeting and clarify things.
So then why don't we put it on
For
We can just-
discussion.
For discussion and add it as a discussion item.
Okay.
I don't know where to put it.
Unfinished?
Unfinished.
Number 9?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah, I was looking and I didn't, oh, there it is.
Yeah, number 9. I've
So
lost it.
what are we titling
Because
it?
8 is
Discussion of the August 5th
Oh, I see. I think it's all kind of messy.
agenda item. There was only one item on that agenda, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Move to approve as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I would ask for approval of the minutes of the special meeting from August 5th.
Move to approve the minutes from the special meeting.
And I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And you-
Abstain.
Abstain.
I wasn't there.
I'm abstaining too. I also was not there.
Oh, that's right, you weren't, sorry.
That's right.
I was not.
Okay. Okay, the next item is a call to the audience, and we do have a new member, so I will go through this again. We will provide 2 opportunities for audience participation. The first call to audience is just for agenda items. If there are other items, that would come at the next opportunity towards the end of the meeting. We do ask you to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Let's see. The board only responds as a whole, so whatever comments or questions you have, the board will not respond. if you have a question that you would like answered, we would need to have it submitted in writing. And if you have a comment, I will ask Kathleen to keep a timer for us. Are there any questions, comments? Okay. Financial report. Cheryl?
You have the financial statements as well as the check register. The check register as of July 31st. And the financial statements again as July 31st. Are there any questions, concerns, comments? And we need a motion to approve the expenses for the month of July in the amount of $73,284.37.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Jan? Okay. Second? Cheryl?
Oh, yes. I was already on the next item.
That's okay. Susan?
Yes.
I was already on.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Verna? Yes. The motion is passed unanimously. Okay, we have included communications from last month. Do we have any questions or comments, discussion? Okay, the unfinished business, discussion of the August 5th agenda item. Susan, you had questions?
Yeah, I guess my question is we had set up a proposal for the meeting and voted on it, and then was there new information saying that there was additional work that needed to be done that wasn't in the proposal?
Right, the board had asked to include we needed to get the information about the tower, because that was not original to the quote that you all had seen. So then we got the quote, and that's when we had the special meeting, because we needed to get on their schedule. So that was the purpose of the special meeting, was the addition of the tower.
Okay. I would have thought the tower would have been the majority of the cost of the quote, so did it go up quite a bit? Or-
About 2,500, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But it was still within the
Right.
amount that we had agreed
Correct,
upon.
yes.
Right. Further discussion, questions?
No, just sorry I didn't put that on there.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said just apologies for not getting it on that.
Oh,
That's fine.
okay. New business? Tiffany, do you want to address your?
Yes. Is it my turn?
Only if we can come back to that later if you would like to postpone that.
No, we can do it now. I want to just make it more formal. Verna's been acting as president just because I have the kids, which has been very busy with COVID and babysitters bailing all the time and things like that. So I just want to, just make it, is it an action item or? I would like to swap roles with her for the time being, becoming vice president and letting her do what she's already been doing, just to kind of ease my workload a little bit.
Okay.
Is there anything that needs to be put out in writing or anything, or is it just a vote?
Actually, go ahead.
Go ahead.
According to our bylaws, if for some reason the president vacates the office, the vice president takes over.
Okay.
So it really doesn't require a vote for that.
Right.
Now it will require a vote for a new vice president.
For her to take that
Whoever
position?
Yes.
Take that position.
Which I kind of have already done. We really have kind of just naturally switched roles. So I've been doing a lot of the vice president stuff, and she's been doing the majority of the president stuff for the last few months.
Okay, so,
Plus in November, we'll be re-voting for officers.
Sure,
again
yeah.
anyway.
So may I have a nomination for the vice presidency?
I nominate Tiffany.
Thanks.
Are there other nominations?
You
All
can
in
nominate
favor?
yourself too if you want.
You can wait.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, I appreciate the help.
Okay, trustee committee structure. Jan and I have worked together on a couple of projects, and we find that having two people on each of the committees, or on the committee, works a lot better because you have two different opinions, you have two different people that can help carry the load, also hold each other responsible. So I thought it would be a good idea if we go to actually add a person to each of our standing committees. Oops. Oh, there we go. So I would like to propose that we do that. I have some suggestions, and we'll vote on the entire list at the end. For the professional development, Jan and I have already been doing that, so I would work with Jan. Also, the Friends of the Library, again, because Jan and I have been working together, I would take that position. For the student liaison, Susan, I would like to work with you. That was one of my original projects, or one of my ideas when we started the strategic plan. Advocacy, Cheryl, would you work with Heather on that?
Yeah, because I used to do that, so I'm happy to
Yeah.
work with you on that.
Okay. Budget and finance, and I think, actually Heather, you had already been working on that, so
Yes.
I've added you to that one. And Tiffany and I will continue to work on the evaluations. Okay. I would like a motion to approve these changes.
So moved?
Second?
Second. Oh.
Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The outdoor lockers.
Okay, so we have a project proposal from Shauna starting on page 15 for our outdoor locker proposal. And we have actually, as you can see, she looked at 5 different companies, and then the management team met and we determined which ones we wanted to go with. And we selected Smart Access for our vendor because all of the equipment was all inclusive. We didn't have to buy lots of bits and pieces here and there and put them together. It was all inclusive. It communicates with your library card, so the nice thing is you'll be able to just swipe your library, or actually, I'm not sure if it's a swipe, yeah, your library card, and lockers will open with your materials in them. So that, again, was a nice seamless process. It's ADA accessible, so it's up off the ground, so you don't have any lockers that are literally like in schools where it's on the very bottom. Shauna also called other libraries that had worked with this company, Ann Arbor being one of them, which they've had over 15 years, and over time they've even added more lockers due to the success. And also the staff efficiency. There were less steps with this system than there would have been with some of the others. So we did apply for a grant that we should know as of or after September 1st whether or not we got the grant. The grant itself is a $15,000 max. As you can see, the amount we have on page 16 is $16,338. Now, that does not include, we will have to have Allied come out and install an outside outlet, so we don't have that amount number in there yet. They're coming tomorrow to give us an estimate for what that will cost. The difference in if we were to get the full grant, obviously the library would pay the rest. If we got partial grant, because they've seen, when we looked at the history of it, they would tend to do $5,000 to $10,000 in this grant, awarding that amount. Or if they just did not fund us in any way, shape, or form. We do have money available to purchase them anyway, which we would like to do. We think it's a nice service that we can provide 24/7 access for our community. And a lot of libraries either had lockers before or added them during the pandemic for that very reason of that complete accessibility. What I'm asking for today is, because it is over my $5,000 limit for what I can, I need board approval, I would like to ask to have you approve the purchase. I think that's exactly, because again, we won't know till afterwards with the grant, whether or not we got the grant. And also, I think it's a 12-week period to get it purchased. I mean, once we order it. So we wanted to get moving on that right after September 1st, when we will know the award process.
I have put the language together that'll follow all the financial aspects of this. I won't make the motion, but I will give the language. And then if somebody wants to make the motion, because as finance officer, I don't want to make a motion on this type of thing.
Finance.
Can I ask a question about the lockers?
Yeah, we're gonna, go ahead.
Does the library card or barcode, does it only open up that locker that it's been?
Correct.
sold
But for example, if you're a parent with a lot of kids, or you have a lot, or somebody needs a lot more books than will fit in a locker, when you scan your card, those lockers will open. So if you had 3 lockers worth of materials in it, those 3 lockers will open, but not others.
But if the power is out, then none of the lockers will work, right? 'Cause it's like-
I would assume so. It's
I
all,
just have PTSD.
yeah. We'll get a crowbar, we'll pry it open, we'll get you. I want my book.
Okay. Heather, questions, comments?
So if we do not get the grant that goes along with these, you are asking that we still purchase these. Am I correct in that?
Correct,
Or-
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is not a budgeted item, correct?
Well, it's partially budgeted because we have $10,000 sitting in furniture and equipment, and we put that money in there for purposes like this.
Okay.
Obviously, if we don't get any of the grant money, we may have to come back and ask for a little more. Now, the Friends have also expressed interest in funding some of it as well. If we got 0, I'm not sure, I don't think the Friends are going to shore up the other half. I don't know that though. So, but there's 10,000 available.
That we have not used.
Correct, and we have
And
no
that's
plans.
for this fiscal year, not
Correct,
for-
we had no,
okay.
we always put $10,000 in that budget line because we don't know if and when we might need some furniture or equipment.
Okay.
Some years it goes unspent, but we said this is a perfect opportunity to be able to purchase those lockers otherwise.
Okay. So this, what I'm seeing here is it's over 10,000. So where is the extra money going to come from if we don't get any of the?
It would come from the fund balance.
Okay, so we have that
Yes.
to cover it.
Susan, do you have questions or comments?
Nope.
I'm good.
Tiffany, do you have additional questions or
That
comments?
was it. I'm good.
Jan?
Okay, are these, mine is just logistics, are these attached to the wall outside, or? I don't
No,
get it.
it would be freestanding.
Freestanding?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a circular thing, or?
Do you know the mailboxes that apartment
Oh,
complexes have?
okay.
It looks similar to that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
That was
and
fun.
have you ever used an Amazon locker? Or,
We're a small town here.
Amazon comes from the door.
There is some that we can use from here, though.
Yes. Bus station from?
yeah, like Home Depot has them too, but it's just a station where you go up, you put in a code, and we're gonna have the ability to either enter in your library card number or scan it with a barcode. So that's the beauty of having an electronic system.
So are these, where will they be stationed?
We're hoping that they'll be right underneath the portico here. It would be protected by the weather, even though it is weatherproof.
So it's like in front of the windows then? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's coming together. All right.
As a mom who has 18,000 kids, would the parent card be able to open, like, let's say Mitchell got a book on his card, would my library card be able to open it, or would I have to find Mitchell's card?
When you go to place your hold, you would want to put it all underneath the card that you want to pick it up under.
Okay.
So, and since we don't have any like limits on how many items, like you can check out up to 100 items. If you want to do 100 items on your card, you'd be able to just use your card to get the 100 items in
Okay.
the lockers.
I only say that because I just use whoever's card is found.
Yeah.
You would get notifications via your text message, your email. It would, so you could always open up that on your phone, and regarding whatever card you're using, you could be like, oh, I put it under his card, then you could just type in his name and not have to physically have the card with you.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got you covered.
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Yes, I did have one question. We had talked about the service plan, and the amount you're asking for includes the service plan. Did you decide to take the second year service plan?
No, we are not planning to take the second year service plan. The first one is just included in the cost. What we're gonna do is go à la carte, because when Shauna reached out to the other libraries to ask, you know, how often do they have to come out and service it, it was not worth the cost of the service plan, so we would just stick with the à la carte.
So
Which means it's a cost
from this
per-
proposal from Smart Access, we're only asking for the $15,594 then?
Kathleen's saying yes.
I'm sorry, where are you seeing that?
Page
15 what?
18?
Page 18, down near the bottom where it gives you the two numbers, we're actually asking for the $15,594, not the $16,338.
Is that? I thought it was the 16.
Because this one does not include the service contract. The optional second year service plan that's shown above.
I believe, because you guys are all looking at this sheet, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I believe underneath where it says Lead has a 1 year full warranty. That doesn't suggest either. You're right, there is it looks like there's a discrepancy between the optional second year being included and then the total price at the bottom.
And that's the difference, because it was
So
what,
it's, so is it,
$750, I think.
so is it the 15,594? Is that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, do we need to go around a second time? Additional questions or comments?
I have one more
Sure.
question. From an insurance perspective, let's say, you know, we did get a power surge or something like that and it blows the whole board. Is that something that is covered here? Is that covered under our building insurance? Like, how does that work? Do we need to add that to whatever it is that we're doing?
I'm not sure what you mean by building insurance. It blows what? Which?
Well,
I'm not sure I
if,
understand.
you know, if we get a power surge or something like that, you know, thinking worst case scenario where something is damaged, you know, to the units being outside, vandalized, something like that, is there some way that we can recover, you know, some of the costs on that kind of stuff? Because it has an electric board in it, does it not? Or electric panel of some kind.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it would be under just our regular insurance.
But it will be covered, I guess, is my question.
Yeah,
It's
or
not something we'll have to
the
like,
library, yeah.
Like if there was a damage to a computer or damage to
Oh,
any
yeah,
other.
I mean, all
it's
of
the
it.
same kind of thing.
Yeah, all of
Okay.
that would be covered, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that it's outdoors, I mean, I don't think that would.
I know there's another word for it, but you know, it would be like homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah,
Library.
that.
Yeah, that's that kind of insurance. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve now?
No, she's got this.
I'm gonna give you the language for it, and then somebody else
Sorry.
can make the motion.
Okay, go right ahead, okay.
Here, do you want to read it?
Okay.
Can I read
I
it?
think you can.
She
There's an
did
A and a B.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to approve the purchase of outdoor lockers from Smart Access per LEID proposal 221204 in the amount of $15,594
And then-
plus $2,000 to cover various installment costs.
And B,
And B, so it's together.
yes.
Okay. Move $10,000 from contingencies to furniture equipment. Is that line item?
Yeah, that's the line item.
Okay. Line item 726.300 if grant is not received.
Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Jan? Second?
I'll second it.
Who seconded it?
By Heather? Okay, and this is over our limits, so we will do a roll call vote. Heather?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Verna? Yes. That's unanimously passed.
And Cheryl, you're not emailing that, right?
I will, yes.
At the next board meeting, we'll fill us in if the grant was approved.
Yeah, we'll know by then, yes.
Good.
Oh, let us know before the board meeting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As soon as we hopefully get some kind of reward, we will let you know, yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, the ALA Code of Ethics revision. I hope you all had a chance to read the revision. The only change we had adopted, and I think it was in 2016, the Board of Trustees adopted a number of items, including the ALA Code of Ethics. In July of this year, they approved an additional item, which is item number 9. So on page 19, number 9, we affirm the inherent dignity and rights of every person. We work to recognize and dismantle systemic and individual biases, to confront inequity and oppression, to enhance diversity and inclusion, and to advance racial and social justice in our libraries, communities, profession, and associations through awareness, advocacy, education, collaboration, services, and allocation of resources and space. Does anyone have questions or
I do.
comments?
Frankly, I feel that this final bullet point contradicts what it says earlier in the document. Point 6 says we do not advance private interests at the expense of library users, colleagues, or employing institutions. Number 7 says we distinguish between our personal convictions and professional duties and do not allow our personal beliefs to interfere with fair representation of the aims of our institutions or the provision of access to information or resources. I think that it's our job to provide resources for whomever needs that, but the language that is used in this final bullet point is very much personal convictions, in my opinion. I don't think that I just feel like it's very contradictory to what it is that we're trying to do here. We want to include all people, not just some.
Okay. Anyone else have a comment?
Do you have other language in mind that you would amended to?
I mean, I think that we affirm the inherent dignity and rights of every person would suffice. I think that the rest of it is just a bunch of word jargon that doesn't need to be there.
Kobe, you don't know how to make a light up.
There's a lot of discussion going on about this at school board meetings. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parents attending school board meetings who are very upset at this kind of language. And I just don't think that we should continue it.
He's made the most noise.
They've been so good.
So David's back.
Sorry. Just hand it to one of the kids. They know how to do it.
Sorry about that.
Leaves the little one to carry the most stuff.
So you would just take out the rest of that?
Correct.
You would just keep the first sentence over your...
Simplifies it, I think.
Okay. Susan, did you have a comment?
I feel it simplifies it just to have it, we affirm the inherent dignity and the rights of every person.
It takes out the inflammatory portion of it, because it is very inflammatory in the culture right now.
Cheryl, comments or questions?
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
My turn?
Yes.
Well, I see that we have to approve this, but it's already been adopted as of the end of June. So what is it that we can actually change?
No, that's adopted by ALA.
Right.
That's ALA's adoption, right, so we can't
Right.
change their language because they
Right,
adopted
right.
it. So basically, you're either, it's approving, adding the ninth principle. That's what
So
the
you can't
action would.
change
Right.
the ninth.
Right, we can't
Right.
change it because it's ALA's statement, so
Right.
it's adopting the ninth principle, the revision.
I
Right.
think we should stick with the prior one then, that does not contain it.
I've read this a number of times, and I don't feel that there's anything in this statement that would be adverse to what we do at the library and what we, how we choose to interact with the patrons and the taxpayers of Brandon Township. Would someone like to make a motion?
I move to continue with the current code of ethics and not adopt the new one.
I second.
All in favor?
No,
of-
can we have discussion now?
Pardon?
You have a motion on the table, can we have discussion?
Yes.
I don't see why we can't say that we keep the one that we currently have and add the sentence. We can still add it in our code of ethics. And just add the one sentence, that's number 9.
Well, but I mean, I don't think it's,
Go ahead.
then it seems to me if someone were to go to our 9 ALA adopted principles and see that one sentence and not the rest of it, I don't think we can say that it's an ALA adopted,
Right.
because it's not accurate. It does not include their full statement. So, I mean, we can't adopt it the way it is without having the full statement the way it is. Because that would be like reading anybody's statement. You would never know what they actually meant, because people could change it. So,
Then we could create our own code of ethics and not refer to American Library Association Code of Ethics.
Can I ask if anybody has actually, read the ALA explanations of the definition of these particular values? I would like to table this and ask that we come back next month and each of us to commit to reading the interpretation, read the ALA documents and
Do you have a website for those?
pardon?
Do you have a website or something?
Yes, it's,
we'll include it
Okay.
in the minutes.
okay.
So we have a,
Verna, we have a motion on the
Motion
table.
on the
Either
table.
has to be voted on or rescinded.
You're correct, I apologize. There was a motion on the table.
can we rescind it, or do we
Uh,
vote on it?
No, we need to vote on it. The motion stands.
We can rescind the motion. Whoever made the motion can withdraw it.
Okay.
No, I would like to have a vote on it.
That's your right.
Okay. Then-
Okay, so what was the statement? Because I don't have the full statement.
I move to keep the current ALA Code of Ethics and not adopt the new one.
And that was seconded by Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
We have a tie.
Boy, I don't remember what we do in this case of time.
Technically, I believe the president
Pardon?
has to break the tie.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you're able to vote, and then you're also able to break the tie.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Right, isn't that right?
Right, so the president has the, if it's a tie, then the president can break the tie.
But the president cannot vote on the resolution and then break the tie. I can't vote twice, I think.
Yeah, that.
I
Then it
think that would be-
fails.
Pardon?
Then it fails.
But we're still tabling this and bringing it back.
We can still bring it
Okay.
back for discussion.
Okay,
Is that
then,
what
then I would like to propose that we bring it back next month and have a chance to discuss the actual principles involved. Okay, the next item is the summer reading report.
Yep, Sean is here, I'll let Sean talk about it if she'd like.
Should we clap now or when you're done?
I'm sorry, I was prepared to discuss that report.
Okay.
So we had a very successful turnout for our summer reading in regards to our signups. We had over 62% of an increase in our signups compared to our highest year, which happened in 2018. So we had over 600 signups this year, so we're very happy about that. And some of the graphs will show you different circulation measures, like our physical checkouts versus our digital checkouts and our total. We had an increase of like 31% from 2020 to 2021, so that's great. We also had a really good turnout for the number of prompts that we did. We did 24 adult/teen prompts and, well, kind of like general prompts. And then we had 24 youth, more child-centric prompts that were easier for them to answer. And so out of the 48 prompts that we posted here in the library all summer long for the 8 weeks, as well as on Facebook and our website, we had over 1,152 responses, so that's really great. And we were very happy to see our Facebook counts go up, and we're so happy to see all the people coming in. I believe Fran wrote in her report that over 80 families joined the scavenger hunt that she put together for the community, and I know people were very excited about talking about that. Our staff members were very involved in the process too, and we loved going around and reading everybody's responses to seeing what their favorite book of the summer was, to what was the spookiest book you've ever read. And so Paige and I are really excited to be able to bring this information to the national stage and be like, hey, you know, your summer reading doesn't have to be all about knowing how many pages you read this summer. It can be all about the experiences that you know. So,
Good job. Thank you. Does anyone have questions for Shauna or comments about the program? Cheryl?
Nobody came up my driveway with a prize. I love, though, driving around and seeing the yard signs. I thought that was great for our library. And, you know, they would just pop up when you weren't expecting one. And I really thought that was a great idea. The family kits were good. You know, I picked up a couple of them for my great-granddaughter. I thought just a lot of great ideas went into this. So we appreciate it and thank the rest of the staff for us.
Okay. We can still leave up our signs, right?
yes.
Okay, it's still in good shape, I'm leaving it up. Nobody came up my driveway either, but there was, and gosh, I wish I could tell you which one. I responded to several of the questions on Facebook through the library, and I did get chosen and won a prize for one of my responses.
Wow.
Would you like to share?
Well, that'd be a little hard. It's,
Okay, that's
it's
fine.
one, but I won a $5 gift card to Starbucks.
Very nice.
So that was cool.
We all want a Starbucks at our next
Well,
meeting.
I was just gonna say, I'll bring my, I don't even think I can get one for $5, but I'll let you have a sip.
Okay.
So, it was wonderful. I can't tell you enough. The day that, and we did the whole scavenger hunt in one day, I had several kids in my car, and it was fabulous, just fabulous. So, loved it. One of my questions later on under reports was, what are you talking on in Las Vegas? But now I remember, so I won't ask that. I want to go.
Okay. Anyone else have comments? Great job. I'm just so impressed with the reading program this summer. It was exciting, and to hear people talking about it and people asking about the signs who don't normally use the library. So lots of good things out of that. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Committee reports. I think Jan and I are completed that project for now. Jan, Friends of the...
Okay, the Friends met last Tuesday night, and we do have a few new members, so that's, you know, been really good to meet new people and bring on new people. The Friends was referred to earlier about the lockers, so I'm going to give you their quick financial report. Their check register right now is $13,813.52, and their petty cash currently is $345.50. So we're talking almost, well, we're probably talking $17,000, but that's still, you know, that's a nice amount. But still, as far as the lockers go, they couldn't cover the whole thing probably. They are writing a check for $2,000 for the programs coming up this fall, children, teen, and adult programs coming up this fall. So that's always good. The bookstore continues to be growing, the used books and everything. They make about $600 to $700 a month, and that's with the books, and that's with Alan's online sales. Funny though, the Alan and Tina, who are, they're great on FOL, they ran the table for every Saturday morning in town for the farmer's market. Well, total, it made $53. But we said, and they said there was a lot of carting and setting up and everything, but we agreed, and they agreed too, that the PR was worth it in that case. So that's all good stuff. Now we have 11.2.1. There's been a Friends artwork request by an FOL member. It would be an artistic expenditure to liven up the wall above the bench out front. This person just feels that that area is very dark and they'd like some type of artwork. They're looking at an art grant, possibly down the way, but what I would like to suggest at this point is that we, on the board, form an ad hoc committee to look into this. There's a lot of aspects to think about. There's a possibility of a grant, and I really think we need an ad hoc committee at this time.
I assume that you would be.
I'll be on it.
And as your co-member, I will be on that. Would we like a third member? Do you have a staff member that you would like to recommend? Would you like to think about it?
Yeah, I'll get back with Jan and we'll,
Okay.
Oh, I know what it was. No, it was Kathleen. Duh, I forgot.
Oh.
Kathleen on it because it's a whole facilities thing, because putting something on that wall will require some,
Right.
discussion with vendors.
Kathleen, would you?
I almost got her to forget about it.
Okay.
So it's Jan, Kathleen, and Verna. Okay.
I would like us to get some ideas together and meet before the next FOL, which actually, ladies, we meet every 2 months, remember? So that
Okay.
would be end of October, but
So we've
we
got
can
time.
still get going on that, sure. Thank you.
Okay, student liaison, Susan?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last month, we talked about Taylor submitting an application in that we were looking for, we could do 2 student liaisons, a junior and a senior. Since then, she got her application to us on Thursday, and I noticed that she is also a junior, not a senior. We thought she was a senior. Rebecca gave me I just recently got the student liaison guidelines, I guess, that were created by a previous board member back in 2019. And it does say, it says may consist of 1 junior and 1 senior. So I don't think I have a problem with being 2 juniors at this point. I would like to more immediately, maybe before our next meeting, is it does say that the students must be in good academic standing and have permission from the high school principal to serve. We have not gotten that from either Claire or Taylor. So I would like to get that, even if it's just the principal jotting down a permission note, and it's also a beautiful opportunity for them to get in front of him and promote JAB. So I think that would be a good thing. But once they're on board and we can introduce them at the next meeting and everything and get them on board, where I'd like to go with this is to kind of redo this
Right.
Guideline, because it's a little vague.
Right.
I don't know, when it says may consist of, and it also says in good academic standing. What's good academic standing? Obviously, we don't want their position here to jeopardize their grade point. So, and I don't even know if we ever got anything from Claire's mom saying it was okay. So, you know, those are the
Yeah.
types of logistics. I would like to go through this and rewrite it and create an application for the student liaison, so we're not using the JAV application.
Very good.
And one thing it does say in here, which I thought was great and we should have done, it says student will be interviewed by the board and selections will be made after the interview process. Even if it's just one person, I think that's a great experience for them.
Right.
And to have questions to answer from all of us.
I agree.
And as far as last year, I don't know really what happened. I looked through some of the emails. I know that Shauna had asked, where was it? There was an email that was sent out asking Claire Grace, to talk to the principal or if she'd done a blast within the school, and I don't know what was followed up with that. But I think that this time out, we can definitely, I think, do a better job in holding the students accountable, saying, what's going on? What'd you do? Have you talked to the student council? Have you talked to the principal? Have you put it in the newspaper? That type of thing. So I think we can definitely improve upon where we were last year at this time. And it was hard communicating with people in that scenario. It really is. When you can't just pop into the principal's office and that kind of thing. So that's it.
Okay. Advocacy. Heather.
Okay, so still working on the recovery, sorry, I forget the bill off the top of my head, I should have written it down. But the one that we had talked about the last time, they're still pushing for that. That hasn't gone through yet. Also, we had talked last month about some of the ARP funds. I'm still not really sure what all of the ins and outs are, but I did go to the Brandon Township meeting, and I know that Brandon Township is getting 1.6 million, I believe, and I also talked with a couple of the village trustees, and they're getting about 200,000 for the village. So neither of those boards, to my knowledge at this point, have determined what they're going to be spending that money on, but it's something to keep an eye on. So.
Budget and fund balance, Cheryl?
We will be meeting again to finalize the budget. A draft will come to the next meeting, and then we'll have a final vote on it in October.
Okay. Evaluations, Tiffany?
Me. You all should be getting a few emails in the coming days to do both of those evaluations. It's taken me a little bit of time because I've switched everything from like shoddy Word documents into a Google Docs. You can do it on your phone or on a computer. You can even print it out and write it in if you're not comfortable with the Google Docs system. And just give it to me and I can do it for you. And then those reports will be prepared for the September meeting, right?
Right. We'll have the results back for September.
Because I was going to send them out next week, so.
Right, okay.
And
That's
that
fast,
gives you
that's fast.
2 weeks to,
Okay. Yeah.
They're much shorter, we've shortened them a lot
Right.
this year, because we've combined them, because I think some of you remember the self-evaluation was very
Pages.
lengthy. Pages.
Pages, yes.
Nobody liked it, I hated it, so we're changing it.
Okay. Staff report.
Well, Director's report. The
Oh,
only thing I wanna-
I'm sorry, yeah.
The only thing I want to mention is that should have been a dollar sign. I don't know why there's an @ symbol for our check that we received for our penal fines. It was really odd, but, and I just want to acknowledge that Sarah celebrated her 11th anniversary with Brandon Library.
That's wonderful.
And we
Very
have 2
nice.
grants, active grants right now, so.
Can I ask a question? What are you presenting? what's your subject at the?
It's actually, I'm presenting on behalf of the Friends of Michigan Libraries. I'll be going up to Marquette, and basically what they're trying to do is get more library friends groups in the UP to join the Friends of Michigan Libraries. And so I'm going up there to present and hope to come back with more people actively engaged. The great thing about the Friends of Michigan Libraries is that we've been hosting virtual meetings, and friends groups have been sharing so much information back and forth, lots of ideas for fundraisers. Tom and Jenny have attended a number of the meetings from our own friends group. And also it's a place where they can call if they have any questions, because friends groups usually don't have anybody to ask. And so generally speaking, Claire at the State Library answers legal questions that friends groups have. But it's a great way for friends to just learn from each other. And they're in the past, there was normally a great annual workshop that we haven't had this past year, and we probably won't have in April. I don't know for sure yet. But anyway, so that's what I've been asked to do, is to go up there and present, and I'm going to do that on their behalf. So.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
On Kathleen's report, can you tell me more about what was going on with the quiet study room, the new public services, all that business?
Well, we were changing over the quiet study room to being Alyssa's office, because she's a public services manager, so she does both adult and youth. And we wanted her between the departments. We didn't want her just, sorry, we're not talking loud enough.
I just have a hard time hearing. That's okay.
Yeah, we can't hear it through your mask very well.
I don't project, but we wanted her to be between the two departments, so she's not just, always around youth, and then, it's natural, you get a closer connection with one department rather than both. So we are making that her office. No, she doesn't have a door right now. We're working on it. And so what was the youth manager's office where Kate was, we transferred the long table that was in the quiet study room over there. So that is where public services meets. Alyssa's really great about meeting with all of them and keeping them up to date, finding where they are, what they want to do, what they need to do, and everything. So that is where they are meeting, and then they can do their projects there, their summer reading prep and everything like that. They have a designated space, a good size room for them to do that in.
So we no longer have a quiet study room then?
No, we still have the meeting room, which people can reserve that space, and so they can, we sort of had both spaces, and a lot of times people use that one because it didn't have a door on it, and they would just walk in there. But now, the meeting room has never been used so much that it wouldn't be available to people. But yeah, that will still be available.
Okay.
For patrons, yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
I just want to make sure we still have
Yeah.
that. Okay, that was it.
Okay, anyone else have questions or comments?
Can I ask
Sure.
something? And I should have asked Fran, but maybe, Rebecca, would you know, she shared the Battle of the Books program with the director of, however you say that, Ruckles Memorial Library. Where is that?
I don't know. I had asked her to respond because a lot of times when people put out requests for information to the listserv, people don't always respond. So I always try to say, if you've got a minute, we need to reach out to our colleagues. And so I asked her to share that, especially because we've had very, very, very successful, that's one of my favorite programs that we do or have done in the past, and hope to see it come back soon. So that's why I'd asked her to share, but as far as where that library is, I'm not sure. We have to look it up.
Me too, yeah, I don't know either.
So
Okay.
that's where that item came from the listserv?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so the request came through the listserv,
Okay.
yes.
Anyone else have anything you would like to highlight? And I had commented before that I would like to find a way to get all of these items in our meeting. I'm not quite sure how to do that without reading it all, and I'm obviously not going to do that. But again, everybody just seems to be so creative, and I really like the way they all seem to be working on everything. And again, you know, they're not listed, but thank you to the circulation staff, those 4 people who are always there to greet everyone. And let's see, that's Michael and Denise and Jenny and
Sue, as well as Judy, our bookshelfer, who does a
Right.
phenomenal job as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Let's see.
Can I just mention library statistics?
Yes.
I wanted you to be aware that if you look at website sessions at the bottom of page 27, we just discovered, Michael kind of referenced it in his report, but we discovered that the website sessions, there was something that wasn't working right. So between mid-May through July, we don't have full data, but as of August 1st, we do. So unfortunately, those numbers are not, they're too low, and especially if you look at July, we know that it's not quite that low, but we can't retrieve those stats at this point. So we'll put a little asterisk and a little notation that unfortunately those numbers for a few months were unavailable to us.
Okay. Anyone else have comments or questions? Okay, calendar review. So strategic plan update for September, and we'll present the draft budget. Any other items?
Evaluations, should they be on there?
Right. Okay. Public comment. Do we have anyone who would like to address the board? Items on hold.
Well, I have a comment. David sent a text and said he's super embarrassed.
He should be.
That's true.
I don't
sent one and said, well, that went well. I'm so embarrassed, please apologize.
I don't think you should be embarrassed. He was just being a really terrific dad. Okay. Let's see, the ALA Code of Ethics revision, we're going to bring that to be an agenda item for next month. Any other items for next month? Okay. I have a motion to adjourn at 6:03.
So moved.
Second.
Are you guys ready?
Cheryl and Heather are ready to be gone.